My stepfather chose to uproot us and move to a faraway state when I was a teenager. This was a big change in my life. I had to leave behind dear friends, old habits, and even a new romance because of the huge change. The cold and unwelcoming vibe of the new city seemed to match how I felt about being moved. I felt more and more alone and disconnected as the split between my parents grew. While I was a teenager, I didn't have any friends or ways to deal with my feelings of loneliness or anger. My faith was wavering as I tried to figure out how to believe in a greater power when the world is filled with unending suffering. Even though my family is a strong Christian faith, my opinion that there must be a God, if there was one, made me emotionally distant and skeptical. Being invited to a bonfire in the woods seemed like a good way to get away from my problems one unlucky weekend. A scary thing happened to me, though, because I chose to use questionable drugs. In a state of helplessness and fear, the drug overpowered me. Faces that used to be friendly turned into nightmare-inducing devils and gross monsters as my mind went crazy. I quickly jumped into the hot fire to get away from my mental pain, up until someone finally noticed and did something. The unbearable pain was like a flickering light being eaten by flames. While I don't remember exactly what happened, it seems like my friends hid my unconscious body because they were afraid of getting in trouble with the law. They then left me alone under the starry sky and tall trees. My situation got worse. I begged for freedom inside my head, repeating the desperate cry, "Just free me." It seemed like someone or something heard my silent pleas as my awareness faded. A dimly lit hallway pulled me into a misty, otherworldly place. I felt a deep sense of peace and relief from the painful images when I was separated from my body. Along the edge of this phantom realm, to my right, an old stone wall rose up. Its worn surface told stories of a city that used to be full of life but is now sound asleep. Strangely beautiful music from space and time could be heard far away, breaking up the calm environment. With its ethereal embrace of love and hope, this psalm wove through the vast space. When I was no longer limited by my body, my awareness grew unrestricted by the truth of mortality. Still, there was a dull ache that connected me to the world I was leaving behind. It was a beautiful release from the pain of living on Earth. I felt a strong link to my past life and the difficulties of living on Earth. The difference between my fading body and the peaceful, limitless world became very clear as my body started to break down. That which scared me wasn't the vastness of space or the mysterious stone wall. It was the broken, alien flesh that had once been my body. In this strange world, I felt alone, but the weak link to my disappearing humanity reminded me of how short life is. It left a permanent mark on my being. A mysterious figure appeared in that brief moment of ethereal revelation. This figure had a celestial brilliance that went beyond any normal knowledge of gender. A calm, wise energy filled this being that was hard to understand. It was like a lightning bolt struck me with a deep realization that cut through my doubt and proved the presence of a divine being. Upon waking, denial disappeared, and a storm of anger took its place. There was an overwhelming anger inside me that could send this divine spirit into a faraway, lonely universe if there really was a God responsible for all the world's pain and problems. No matter how bad things were inside, the guide stayed calm. Their presence, which made me feel accepted and cared for, made me even more angry. Chess pieces magically appeared at my feet, and I couldn't tell if they came from my thoughts or from the guide's influence. Everything seemed possible in this world where time didn't matter and there were endless options. I pointed to the board and asked, "Is this some kind of distraction?" I was desperate to get my feelings under control again. "Something mean?" That was the guide's clear answer. "You make your life on Earth and the trials you go through unique." I was speechless when I heard what they said. No longer angry, I said, "Only a fool would choose this path." We talked about it. And even though I thought I was dead, my link to life might still be important, even though we were both in a hurry. Beyond the quiet skyline, the guide spoke, teaching us about how we will always be the same. We are energy and love beings that will always be here to help people and move forward through many versions of ourselves. Reunions in the future were emphasized, which made the point that we will always be connected to the people we love. Despite differences in race, religion, politics, wealth, and citizenship, the guide said that the final test is to face life's problems with love. As my anger grew, the guide told me about parts of my past that were causing problems in my relationships at important times. As I answered, "Why, yes," they gave me a choice. I could stay, but I would have to go back to Earth for some reason they didn't explain. After coming back, what I thought I knew became less clear, leaving me to make decisions based on my own views. The guide told me, there are souls awaiting embodiment in answer to my objections. The idea of being a parent had turned me off when I was 15, but ironically, it now seemed like I had to accept the job. I thought of my lover and how deeply I loved him when I saw the guide. That said, this love didn't make me come back. In that otherworldly place, coming back to see loved ones was the only way to be healthy. Emotions and life on Earth had different meanings there. Carefully explaining the meanings of duty and work, the guide emphasized how important it was to be reminded of their importance many times. When I thought about what I had done in the past, I felt terrible and wanted to say sorry to the guide, whose patience and diligence in helping me understand were acts of great kindness. There are times when I think about the hypothetical nature of the future, which makes me very angry. In our conversations, though, any hint of worry is met with a surprised laugh. Look, wings and a sword, they say in response when I joke about getting them. Along with this strange turn of events, the thought of inhabiting a body that has been damaged by stress makes me uneasy. In order to speed up my healing and make sure I stay alive, the guide uses an unseen tether to pick up on my unease. Nobody thought I would get better so quickly after leaving the hospital. There are no signs of the damage the fire did to my body. I struggle with a body that doesn't feel like it when I wake up in the green woods. Getting over old grudges is the start of a big change on my way home today. I'm sharing this story after 30 years because it's our duty to do so. I hope that reading this story brings you good luck. Below are your thoughts on today's story, which is now over. For now, stay safe and may good things happen to you until we meet again.